Hello, and welcome to the FYC screening for Wind Up from filmmaker Yibing Jiang. I'm your moderator, Clayton Davis, Film Awards editor at Variety. We will watch the 9-minute animated short, followed by a brief behind-the-scenes rendering of the film's real-time animation process with Unity. A conversation with the filmmaker and animation director, Jason Keane, will follow. Then, we'll open it up to you guys to share any questions and insights you may have after seeing the film. Wow. Beautiful, stunning achievement in filmmaking. Yibing and Jason, thank you so much for being here with me today. And congratulations on a beautiful, stunning film. It's just incredible. I just want to start with the basics. I mean, tell us a little about yourselves, like, who you are and how did you get into this crazy game called animation? Let's start with you, Yi.
Let's start it.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Yibing Jiang. I'm the writer and director of the animated short Windup. I'm currently in San Francisco, quarantine right now, but I was born and raised in China. I wanted to become an animator since I was really young, like 5. However, there was almost no animation industry back then in China, and my parents only wanted me to be either lawyer, doctor, or engineer. So after I finished my master's degree of engineering, I decided to throw all that away and start over, to take charge of my own life. I came to US by myself to chase my animation dream. And that's probably the best decision I have ever made. I got in talent development program of Disney Animation 9 months after I arrived in US. Since then, I have been working on animated feature films and AAA games for over 10 years now. My professional experiences ranges from Naughty Dog, Pixar, Walt Disney Animation Studio, and Unity Technologies, of course. Before Windup, I have made like 7 animated short films by myself, but this is actually my first time being a real director.
Amazing. And Jason, please, a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Jason Keane. I was animation director on Windup. I've been animating for maybe over 12 years now, and I'm based in Connecticut. I come from kind of a long legacy of artists in my family. My grandfather was Bill Keane. He was a cartoonist and the creator of Family Circus. And my uncle is a famous Disney animator, Glenn Keane. And he recently, in 2018, won Academy Award for the animated short Dear Basketball by Kobe Bryant, and directed Over the Moon on Netflix currently. Also, I became a dad just recently, so that's very exciting for me, and I guess he has a lot to live up to.
All right, awesome. First of all, love Glenn Keane. I've interviewed him a lot this year. I joke around that I want him to be my dad one day, so you're the closest thing to it for me. So let's start here. How did Windup come to be? What is it, and who came up with this crazy idea?
Windup actually is inspired by my own personal experiences. I was often sick when I was a kid, but my memory of those days were foggy. But on the other hand, from my parents' perspective, the event was way more serious. Like they actually tried to spend countless nights to take care of me, fight their own emotions, and try to stay strong. I didn't know why they're so worried. Because when I was a kid, I thought I'm invincible. But then when I got older, I started to empathize with my parents, especially since I moved to US. My family and I are far apart. It makes me the one who always worried about them, especially recently since Wuhan is actually my hometown. Quickly after the news of the whole city getting shut down, I got word that my uncle had to stop his cancer treatment because the overwhelming COVID patient. Also, both of my cousins still need to work in the hospital where a lot of their coworkers already got infected. I was terrified and not sure what to do, far away. I video chat with them as often as possible, but once the camera turns off, all the horrible thoughts just rush back in. And that was the time we were actually crunching for this film. I remember we were animating the hospital sequence when the father actually sitting on the floor and feel hopeless. That was the moment I can totally sympathize with his pain. life imitates art, I think. Especially now, a time when people around the world are isolating, craving for connections, and also preoccupied with health and well-being loved ones, the story of Wind Up is quite relevant.
I mean, it's absolutely relevant. I mean, first, during this time, especially during the pandemic, it's been very challenging. Jason, please, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of the theme in Wind Up, where
it's absolutely relevant. I mean, during this time, especially during the pandemic, it's been.
Sorry, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a delayed response. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
The beauty of Zoom is Zoom fatigue is real. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Should get used to this by now. Yeah, so I mean, I had my son during the film, and so I think I related a ton, right, to the whole story, and it definitely when Yibing came to me, I was kind of like I felt for the characters, and I had my kind of experience. This was after the film, but man, it brought new meaning to the film, where my son. He had kind of a situation when he was born, and he was transferred to the NICU, and so it was, again, what Yibing said, life imitates art. There's definitely, and I know it echoes with the whole pandemic and everything, that there's definitely this need for this kind of film for hope and not giving up. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you're touching on something here, and I think both of you have already touched on this. It's deeply personal, and we're in a time right now where the pandemic is living and ravaging its way through the world, and globally, especially. For both of you, looking at the film and what you're able to portray during this time, how did that feel on that personal note? Just, people watching this, like for me, as I'm a parent as well, like sick kids are not the good thing to get me to watch your movie typically. Like that's usually my, have a threshold. But this, because there's a happy ending and there's, some solace in that. Can you talk about that personal connection during this time and working on it?
I really want people to feel hope. I believe love can actually win through the support of family and friends. This support and beliefs are special, very special, like when we're making the film. And it's probably important for like everyone and during the difficult times like this.
Yeah, so Jason?
I agree. This the same kind of feeling. I mean, during the time it was the beginning of, Yibing can chime in too, it was kind of like the beginning of the whole kind of pandemic situation that was happening. We had one of the animators, Yin Yang, was in China. He was getting, and he was currently in quarantine, so he saw how big it was, and we're hearing the news, and kind of, is it going to come here? So it was just like it's kind of a scary moment leading up to the end of the production, and then finally it kind of got as big as it was. But yeah, Yibing was hearing a lot about too, because she was trying to go to China during production to see her uncle, and it was hard time.
Can you guys talk about the decision to go dialogue free with the animated short? To not have the father or daughter interact with each other or with express anything that's happening around them.
Actually, there are like multiple iterations during the story, like making the story. Initially, it had dialogue, but later we chose to go for dialogue free because we believe like music is a universal language and the theme of the story is universal. So we really want the people all over the world able to connect with it. Also, when we compose this melody, we want to make sure the music in this film actually is the main character. It should sound like a song that we could like sing along with instead of like ambient background music. I think our composer Joaquin did a really good job because everyone working on this film end up humming the melody nonstop.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of stuck in my head for a while as well. And it's funny, especially when it comes to dialogue free. Jason told me I could do a voice in the movie and then cut me out of it. So this is classic Hollywood happening right now before our eyes. Obviously joking. Jason, can you talk about, I guess, get into the actual process of making this front to back? Like, how long does something like this take to create?
So for the animation, it took about 7 months, and that was Yibing. How long was the whole production?
The whole production is over like 9 months, and we finish around like February 2020.
Huh? Yeah. One month for every minute that the film it gets in there, right? Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
So that is the kind of it was an intense schedule. You know, I'm coming from feature. I'm going, well, 9 minutes. We got it 7 months to do this. How is this going to work? But you know, that's kind of what brought up the kind of using Unity's real-time engine, which is Yibing will talk to more about. She knows more of the tech stuff. But it was kind of a mind-blowing revelation for the feature animators that were working on it. Because we're used to, you know, us as animators, we're the actors, right? You've heard it all the time. And we're trying to make these characters come to life. And with the real time, we're able to see this kind of final image, which we call the final render, instantaneously. And it becomes that much closer to our performance. Traditionally, or, you know, in other studios, the renders take, I don't know, like months to finally see it. And from there, you're kind of like, you know, kind of forgot your original inspiration, but you're still going to have to adjust certain lightings that may not work and enhance the performance. This was, you know, as you stated, being dialogue free, the lighting and the eyes and all that kind of stuff are extremely important to kind of express the characters. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed actually using Unity for it. So I thought that was cool.
Absolutely. If we can go to the techniques that are used in the film, you know, what are these? This is something obviously probably new to a lot of us, but what new techniques are used and what were some of those challenges in getting it up there for people to draw?
Actually, like one fact is like we actually changing the story of the film from like very end. Like we keep on changing it because at the beginning, when like we share to the team, it's like there's something doesn't feel right, and then we keep on changing. Like Jason hated it. Like how can you do that? Like never happened before. Yeah, and also another challenge is like we end up had a team all over the world, like 10 different countries. And it's hard to imagine how that gonna work. We had like 20 artists, and half of the group are from AAA games, and half of the team was from the feature film experiences. And that means like some of us know how to use game engine quite well, and some of us know precisely what it takes to achieve like feature animation quality. However, for most of us, this is actually our first time trying to use a real-time engine to achieve film quality. Not only that, since most of us are actually working at home, so we also need to make sure the film can run smoothly on regular personal computers. If it crashes on one person, that will affect the whole schedule. So that compared with the other animation that take months to render, we are like millions times faster. That pushes us actually in a corner. If we want to do this, we have to try new things and we have to invent new features along the way. But on the other hand, it's quite rewarding, even when we just figured out one small details, but since every single step, we really feel like we're changing the history of real-time rendering. The advantage of real-time rendering, like as Jason said, is quite obvious because in order to make a good film, there's a lot of polishing work you need to do in every step. Traditionally, the artist would have to imagine like what's the film look like in final production, because usually there's a quite big difference between what we see in the current step and what's the actual final film would look like. It's really common in the animation production, like we have to drag a lot of polish work have to drag out to the very end, because only then we can see the final, something close to resembling the final image. So that's like why the special effects industry like crunch, people not able to go home, like they need to ship the film.
Sure.
But like real-time rendering fix that by making each department seeing the result instantly. This means all departments can start together and collaborate and polish their work in parallel. For example, the animators, like their actors, so it's helped their performance a lot when they actually can see the environments and see the lighting, and they can feel the tone of the movies when they're acting, you know. As I said, like we're changing the story quite a bit in the production. It like sometimes we need to like easily move the character and the whole set in a totally different environment, and it's unthinkable in traditional animation pipeline, but we can do it quite easily in real time.
Yeah. So, I mean, an example real quick is that an animator was animating a run cycle or a run through the scene in one of the scenes. And all of a sudden a tree popped in and he was just like, whoa, I am not going to reanimate this whole thing and have him just move around the tree. So with Unity, you're able to just communicate with the set guy and then the lighters, and they can change it like that. And boom, back to normal. So
yeah, good. He was so scared. He's like, "What I can do? I thought the review is today."
Yeah.
I'm like, no worry. Yep. Remove the.
I have one last question for you before I open it up to our audience that are watching. What is your one hope, or what are your hopes of people for people to take away from this? What do you want people to take away from this film once they see it, once they experience it? What is that message you're looking to send out?
I think like believe the good thing will happen even in the most difficult times. And yeah, that's how I feel.
Jason?
I mean, again, being that first time dad, and we had that scare with our son, I now know for a fact that this film is that much more important. And and I echo exactly what Yibing's saying. It's the hope. It's that hope when like times are tough, you know, someone's going through something or you're going through something, that if you have that hope and you have loved ones around you that are as persistent as that father was, things can be all right. And just want to, you know, give a shout out to the doctors at the hospital and the NICU nurses, because they're amazing, especially during the pandemic time where they have, you know, there's all these protocols, but they're still out there as if nothing's going on, saving.
Yeah. Shout out to all doctors, all medical. Yeah.
It's amazing. Sure.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to open up to some questions from our viewers that are watching. I have a question here from Russell Levette, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Wonderful work. Congratulations. What DCC did you use, or was this entirely Unity?
Oh, we use, you know, the environment artists or character artists probably use ZBrush when they model the characters, and the animators will mainly use Maya, and then, you know, export it as FBX, and then in Unity, then they can see the final image. I guess environment and lighting are mostly in Unity. Camera, definitely in Unity. And yeah, it's there's some overlapping between other software. And
for animation, we used we were able to use a collaborate. They found a system to be able to use Unity plus Maya, so we didn't entirely have to animate in Unity. Maya is the traditional kind of software, animation software, and so we were able to animate on that using what we're used to, and then transport that into Unity.
Awesome. From Dan, the first half of this was already answered. How long to produce? We know that's 9 months, but how big was the team?
20 artists, I think, in general. Yeah, but like some of us are full-time and we wear so many hats, like we need to do multiple jobs. And some of us, like they're helping like few hours per week, something like that.
Yeah. And all dependent on each other's internet and computers, which in this age feels really risky. Because I don't think I could work there.
It's the beginning of like, we need to make this work.
I know, yeah.
Progressive. I mean, now everyone's doing this and, you know, working at home, being remote.
Everyone better upgrade their FiOS internet. Jeez. Yeah. From Anne, the girl's home is on a street that's so unique. Is it a place in the real world?
We did took reference of like west part of Asia, like west part of Sichuan and Tibet, and also like Bhutan, because I really loved architecture from the west part of Asia. I tried to go one time, but you know the altitude over there is really high, and you know the car drive. Just one day, we've experienced 4 seasons, and by the end, we're like really, we don't see any people anymore. We just see like yaks, and everywhere is white, and I feel like we're going to die because the car was like there's snow, and then you see the fence of the highway is broken, like means some rocks just fell over there. And I talked to the driver. I was like, do you have any security issues for that? He's like, oh, no worry. I prayed to the Buddha this morning. We will be fine. And but then I was like, let's go. Let's head back. So
that's not a surety. Like just going through.
But stuff. Yeah, I took a lot of reference pictures. I didn't personally see those houses. I see along the way, but not the ones in Tibet. Like that's where I actually try to go. Also, we try to like add some like steampunk kind of elements with the Western Asia design. So it's kind of, you know, combine those.
Awesome. All right. By the way, 4 seasons, you're describing the East Coast today. It was like really nice this morning, and then it snowed in the middle of the day, and it just stopped like out of nowhere. So that's just anywhere that's in the country right now. From Brian Adams, beautiful, heartbreaking, and hopeful all at once. What was your inspiration? So obviously, I know you spoke about your personal connection. Jason, do you want to talk about maybe your own personal connection?
Well, as for talking about animation, the inspiration for the individual characters, I just want to say Kiki was Yibing. I don't know if Yibing has this like spark of energy into her, and it was perfect for Kiki because, you know, we wanted to contrast that, you know, that love of life, arts, music versus her situation. And then for the father, you know, I drew a lot of inspiration for the fact that, you know, my wife was pregnant during the time, and me reflecting on how I would feel, which I mean,
this is my father now.
So Kiki, my daughter. Yes. So yeah, I was we're able to connect on those levels, and then and I, you know, to give credit to the animation team as well, in terms of animation characters and personality, you know, they were able to put their own kind of you know, history and their feelings within the team, and their scenes that they had, and it really brought the characters to life. So yeah.
Thank you. Not a question, but just a comment. Thought we share it. Ashley V. Robinson says, "Well, now I'm crying in the middle of the day, so this is amazing." So you guys are the mean kids that made Ashley cry. Question from Tessa from mamasgeeky.com. What do you hope that people take away from your short? I think we addressed that a little bit at the end of my line of questioning, but is there anything additional you want to add to that besides that belief and hope?
Mm-hmm.
No, kind of covers all bases. It's okay that could be the
Don't
answer.
give up.
I think, yeah. I think also, yeah, like what Yibing is saying, there's also on the other side of things of the people who are helping, right? So the father is helping. There's a persistence and a belief, right, to keep going and hope for the best and just see and hopefully it all works out in the end. So it's on both sides with Kiki and the father.
Another question from Brian Adams. Will the short be playing with a feature alongside a feature, another animated feature that's coming out, or is it standalone?
A standalone.
So you're going to build out the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but this more wind-up style? I get it. It's good.
Have the unity. Make some features.
Mike Rhodes shares that was lovely, very lush and beautiful. Joe Fryer, was this shot for 3D? There was so much depth to the animation, and it looked terrific.
I mean, is this 3D animation?
It's not where you wear the glass stereo 3D.
Oh,
yeah. No, we didn't. It was never planned to do that. Or unless, did you plan this, Yibing, at all?
About to revealed right now.
So the depth all came from the beautiful lighting and environments that all the people established, and Yibing coordinating all that stuff. And I'm happy that he feels that way.
Yeah, it makes me miss the movies today because I think about like how this would look on an IMAX screen.
Yeah,
just,
right.
I want to see that.
Oh yeah. Man, that would be.
Don't worry, soon. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, soon. Right. Gosh.
Catherine A. Kaiser, just beautiful. The color throughout is just fabulous. So hoping this will be the short before the next Disney film release, which we just learned that it's not. But it's standalone, and you can go see shorts by itself. From Belinda, a beautiful movie. As you watch it back, does it still affect you emotionally like the first time you saw it?
To be honest, since we changed the story so many times and we watch it like, because we need to like review every shot like more than 1,000 times. So by the end we mute to like, we don't know if the story is good anymore. Like we watch it so many times, and that's why I was like, let's show to the people. We hope a lot of people can actually see it, and hopefully they can tell us if it's good or not.
Yeah, you have to show it to people so you stop working on it, so you don't change it anymore. So it's your way out. Like I can't do anything. People seeing it, and that's it. I mean, as you guys were watching it, like we watched it along with everyone that's watching right now. Are there any things you look at and you're like, God, I could just tweak that, right? Jason's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, animation, you can work on it forever. I mean, it never is complete until director even goes, it's good enough, let's go. Yeah. And I mean, and it actually is probably better to not, noodle something for so long. But yeah, I mean, but I haven't actually, I haven't watched it. It's been a while since I watched it, and that was the first time. And it I was like, wow, it did affect me a good amount. So I'm pleasantly surprised.
Awesome. Yeah. Mike Rhodes asks, can you explain the created real time in Unity for those of us who aren't animation experts?
How, like, so it's, real-time game being along for a long time. So we actually pretty much like a AAA game pipeline. And then we just try to, the innovation we got is try to pop up the visual quality to reach feature film. So we actually, a lot of times we have the paint over or actually have other films along the sides. It was like how to achieve this, how to achieve that. Also, for me, when the film actually began, I decided to make a previous version of the whole film, first before the cinematographer and editor and animator started. So I think there are a lot of tutorials how to make a previous version of, ugly version of your film on YouTube. There's a lot like Unity tutorial of that. So I did that, and then and then I think it helped a lot because it shows exactly the vision I wanted and expressed it like really carefully, clearly, because it's actually a film with like soundtrack and everything. And then the other artists will come along and then add their own experience and intuition to the film and improve the previous I did like to something much, much better.
Yeah.
If I could just add real quick, since I'm not wasn't familiar too much with real time, and then I was an animator coming into it. I think the simplest way to think about it is traditionally we just work in layers. There's an animation, there's a lighting layer, there's a rendering, and then there's something else, or a painting, a matte painting. Real time, that's all done simultaneously, and so you could see the final product as if you're playing a game and you're rotating around. We could do that, with the beautiful lighting and everything. We could rotate that camera around and see it as it is, as you see the final image. And again, traditionally takes like a month to finally see that final image. So that's the major difference. Yeah.
Got it. From Dave Morales, the most important question of the day. It's about that beautiful music. Like how did that come to be? How did we land on that melody?
Like we iteration a lot. Like you have to try different things, and it's like this is not what we want, and this is what we want, because we know exactly what we want at the very beginning. We want it to sounds like a song that you can sing along with, because it's actually in our story is probably the song the father composed or with Kiki and the daughter, and they probably sing along when she was healthy. So we want like create something like that, and have to make a several version and listen to it, and then this one is what we want. And your case, finally.
Jason, you don't have any of those Little Mermaid sensibilities like in your fingers that you could just kind of Glenn Keane to a musical note?
I mean, I was hearing the music as we didn't have the like final music as we started animating, but I mean, animation, you're always thinking beats and musicality in acting and everything, and that's how we kind of talk and work. So I mean, I think the composer was awesome, and I think once we started hearing that music, it really enhanced the animation. There was that perfect amount of like playfulness to it, and sad when it could be sad, but definitely happy. So it had this range, that melody, and yeah. So I mean, it just made it that much easier once we heard it, and we're like, okay, I know what needs to be done in animation here.
Absolutely. I have time for two more quick questions. I said Dave asked the most important one, but actually just got one-upped by Sarah Knight Adamson right now. Would love to see both of these characters again. She is captivating. Any plans for a feature film?
I would say not yet. And so far, didn't really have plan for extending this, but who knows?
I mean, one month for every minute. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're looking at a while before we can get one at that pace.
It could possibly be the fastest done movie though, with using the real time. I'm curious how it would turn out. But really? Yeah.
All right. I think we're open to it. So maybe we have to triple that team of 20 probably and get more people on board. Yes. Most important, from Anne, where can audiences see Wind Up? So how will they be able to discover this film?
I think it should be on YouTube today, if I'm correct.
I think that's correct.
Right, YouTube today.
YouTube today. That's gonna be our new thing. YouTube today.
That's what I heard.
On Unity's channel, right, Yibing?
Yeah.
Listen, that's great. So pass the word. Get everyone that to watch this, because it is so special. The film is fantastic, and also just I have to just say something and add here. This really shows what is a big argument in I'm the film awards editor in this space. Shorts can be just as moving, captivating, and important as any big feature films that are released in a given year. So it's incumbent upon us to give all types of films a chance. It's not just about the 100-minute ones, and 9 minutes is a good time for me to watch something and go about my business. So really great work to both of you. I think both of you for joining me today. Windup is now live on YouTube, so that you'll know that right now. If you're interested in an interview with the filmmakers, please contact Annie Jeeves. Thank you both for participating. Stay safe, everyone. Wear a mask and be well. And enjoy the rest of this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.